Hi, it's Zach Story, and welcome to How to Escape the Trap of the Outdated and Ineffective Approach to Education and Empower Your Kids to be limitless. Now, in this brief video, you're going to discover three major things. The first is the big lie that you probably believe in as a parent that is holding your kids back. Second, we're going to talk about the one huge mistake that you're probably making as a parent right now that you think is helping your kids, but it's actually doing the exact opposite, and how to fix that. And then we're finally going to talk about the big secret that is the 80% to raising successful people, yet our schools almost completely ignore. Now, the education trap is deadly, and there are untold number of parents and kids that are caught in this trap. You want the best for your kids. You take them on amazing vacations, enroll them in activities after school, and these days maybe instead of school, help them with homework. The problem is that it's simply not enough anymore. What most people don't realize is that today's entire education system and approach was created 2 centuries ago when there was severe shortage of qualified factory workers. Schools were designed to produce obedient workers who had basic skills to work at a factory and could follow directions. And that's exactly what they did then, and that's pretty much what they're doing now. And that's why successful people never attribute their success to their education. But the bigger problem is that our approach to education creates and reinforces the one big lie, which is that knowledge is power and knowing the right answers is the key to a successful life. Anyone who had any success in anything in life knows that action is power, not knowledge. If knowledge was that superpower, then in the age of internet, we'd all be billionaires with six-packs. Tony Robbins' mentor, Jim Rohn, is famous for saying, "Those who acquire knowledge for the sake of knowledge are fools. Those who acquire knowledge for the sake of action are wealthy." Action or applied knowledge is the key to success. Yet unfortunately, having the right knowledge for most people doesn't automatically lead to taking action. Why is that? That's because today's schooling system neurologically wires learning and new knowledge together with inaction. Because we learn in the passive state while being inactive, usually sitting behind a desk. Combine that with getting good grades simply for knowing the right answers, and the feeling of being liked and being considered smart for getting good grades, and our schools create a very strong neural loop in our children that knowing the right answers is enough to be successful, creating and neurochemically reinforcing that belief for years, egregiously ignoring the latest breakthroughs in neuroscience and centuries of empirical evidence, which all indicate that the best way to learn is while doing, active doing. So the right neurotransmitters are released during learning and the right connections in the brain are formed. That's one of the main reasons Elon Musk started his own school for his 5 kids, Ad Astra, a school that's rooted in action-based learning. That's also the reason why most of today's super successful CEOs are graduates of the Montessori school system, which is based on learning by interaction. Visionaries like Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Google's Larry Page and Sergey Brin, Wikipedia's founder Jimmy Wales. The Wall Street Journal even published an article called The Montessori Mafia about the super successful graduates of that school. And it's not just the CEOs, one-of-a-kind athletes too, like the men who single-handedly changed how the game of professional basketball is played today in the NBA, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, and so many others. Unfortunately, however successful in their careers, a lot of those CEOs and famous athletes are actually quite not happy in their lives, not fulfilled. And that is because we live in a world today that we didn't evolve in. Most of the successful and accomplished people simply don't know how to be happy once they've achieved their life goals. We don't teach happiness in schools. Here's an eye-opening statistic. Well over a third of practicing attorneys in the United States are clinically depressed. Still want your kid to become a lawyer? It's like Tony Robbins always says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Also consider that most people achieve financial success only to lose it shortly after. It is especially easy to see in sports because of the public nature of the contract amounts and bankruptcy filings. Most athletes who earned millions, tens, or even hundreds of millions of dollars during their careers go broke pretty fast after retiring. Guys like the football legend Dan Marino or the golf superstar John Daly, or the 2 boxing legends who combined made over $1 billion, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. One of the world's greatest soccer players of all time, Diego Maradona. NBA superstars like Dennis Rodman and Allen Iverson. NFL stars of the past like Warren Sapp and Vince Young. The list is endless. All of them went bankrupt shortly after retirement from what used to be the driving force in their lives. According to Sports Illustrated, 4 out of 5 NFL players filed for bankruptcy within 2 years after retirement, and 3 out of 5 NBA players filed for bankruptcy within 5 years of retirement. And that brings us to the one huge mistake most parents still make today. I'm going to be honest with you, until I discovered the work of Dr. Carol Dweck, the neuroscientist out of Stanford University, on growth mindset, I was making that mistake too, thinking I'm reinforcing the right behaviors and rewarding achievement by showing love and affection towards my son, by calling him smart or brilliant when he achieves something amazing, like acing the gifted and talented school's admission test and getting the maximum possible score of 99 without a single day of preparation, or playing chess every day and climbing above 1200 plus rating only 5 years of age, or like studying so well during his kindergarten year that he went straight to second grade at the age of 6, all the while thinking that I was helping my son foster the right attitude towards achievement and the love for the journey. But the research done by neuroscientists like Dr. Carol Dweck and Dr. Joe Bowler on the growth mindset made it painfully obvious that such praise will eventually actually end up doing way more harm than good. Way more harm. What I was actually doing was helping foster a fixed mindset by neurologically linking achievement with self-worth and self-image. And later in life, when the inevitable happens and our kids fail at something at some point in their life, which happens to every single human being on a planet, their confidence goes out the window and their motivation hits rock bottom. If success means they're smart, then failure means they're dumb. And the obvious question that raises is, does that mean we should not praise our kid enthusiastically when they do something great or achieve a milestone? Should we try to restrain our admiration for their success? Not at all. But it does mean that we should stay away from certain kind of praise that judges and labels their intelligence or talent. Fostering a growth mindset in your children is no easy task, but it all starts with understanding how our kids perceive what we say to them. And that finally brings us to the one big secret, the one thing that stands between sustainable success and failure, and that the current system of education completely ignores instead of being based around it. And that is your state of mind. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had the experience of being on a roll, the feeling that you could do no wrong, a time when everything seemed to go right every time? You've probably had the opposite experience too, a day when nothing went right. You can probably remember a time when you couldn't even get the things right that normally came easy to you, when every step was wrong, every door was locked, everything you tried turned out wrong. Well, what's the difference? You're the same person. Why on some days you can do no wrong, and on other days you can do nothing right? Why do even the best athletes have days when they're absolutely phenomenal, followed by days when they just throw bricks? The difference is the neurophysiological state you're in. They're empowering neurophysiological states, such as love, belief, confidence, or ecstasy, or joy, inner strength. And then there are paralyzing neurophysiological states, such as confusion, fear, anxiety, frustration, sadness, or lack of clarity. Just ask yourself, do you perform better when you feel better? Of course you do. We all do. But what they don't teach you at school is that you can control the state of mind you're in every single day. There are things that you can do that take very little time to make sure that you stay in empowered states of mind throughout the day, no matter what happens that day. And some are so easy and fun to do that even kids can easily do them every day. I call them neurobiohacks. They're hacks because they literally take seconds to do while being unbelievably effective. And it starts in the morning, right after sleep, by focusing your reticular activating system to pay attention to things that contribute to your being in an empowered state. The reticular activating system, or RAS for short, is a bundle of nerves at our brainstem that filters out unnecessary information so the important stuff gets through. Your reticular activating system takes what you focus on and creates a filter for it, and then sifts through all that data and presents only the pieces that are important to you. That's why today almost everyone who is enjoying sustainable success in business and life starts their day with a morning routine that enables them to be in empowered states of mind throughout the day. Tim Ferriss, who interviewed the most successful people on the planet, says that pretty much everyone who makes it to his podcast does journaling and some form of meditation every single day. Tony Robbins does his priming routine first thing in the morning. Gary Vee does gratitude exercises a few times a day. Ray Dalio repeatedly says that the number one reason for his enormous success, number one, is transcendental meditation. And I'll tell you from personal experience, meditation made me a much better parent, simply because I'm infinitely more patient when I meditate. And we could all use more patience when it comes to dealing with our kids, can't we? And now, thanks to the research and breakthroughs in neuroscience, thanks to the studies and experiments by scientists like Dr. Carol Dweck, Dr. B.J. Fogg, Dr. Joe Bowler, Dr. Andrew Huberman, all these guys are from Stanford University, by the way, or Dr. Amy Cuddy from Harvard University, and so many others, we know powerful neurobiological hacks we can do in the morning or throughout the day in order to be in a powerful state of mind. Natalia and I spend a lot of time, literally hours and hours every day during the lockdown and forced homeschooling, researching and practicing these neurobiohacks with our son Sky. We found most of them to be amazingly powerful. And we did discover 5 neurobiohacks that are fun, easy to do and teach, easy enough to teach kids at almost any age, take only seconds, and have transformational powers, not just according to the results we experienced and observed, but also according to the massive research done by neuroscientists in the last decade or so. And we want to share with you these 5 neurobiohacks. So look for that email from us that should hit your inbox at any moment. Even if your child starts doing 3 out of these 5 amazing hacks, you'll see noticeable results almost immediately. And it'll start you on your journey to unlock your kids' full potential, which is truly limitless when you empower them to be in a powerful and joyful state of mind. That's the end of our short presentation, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Our mission is to help parents just like you and us raise children that are future-proof, who will thrive on whatever future awaits them by sharing what we ourselves discover, test, and practice. We also really value your feedback. So please, as you experiment with these powerful hacks, let us know what your experience is like. Anything you can think of is extremely valuable, because together we can empower our children to lead a successful and, most importantly, meaningful life with a purpose. I'm very grateful to you for taking the time to watch this video.